Hi. So I'm doing something a little different today. We're gonna try out a game called A Mortician's Tale. It's an independent game, and I don't know anything about it. So let's play it, shall we? Okay. From Matthew Jeffrey to Charlie. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet ya. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more hefty lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Funeral Director, Matthew J. Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Okay. Amy Rose. From Amy Rose. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, a cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. From Jen Love. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. Can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's not something I really think about much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when I Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a funeral monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift / I love you / I am proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L. Hello, Charlie. Hope you're settling in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket for the funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. This is a lot already. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you would not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Okay, sure thing. I'll get right on it. Okay. Didn't even notice the body over there, not gonna lie, but there she is. I can do this, it's okay. This is never a job I would have ever picked up. This is the prep room where you would prepare bodies for burial and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. How do I... That's it. You're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it's also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. I just click it. Okay. This is... I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's, yeah, I guess. We usually don't small talk at a lot of these things. At least that's what I was always taught. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it in the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain. At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it, don't make me laugh right now. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? I guess that's it. I'm just cleaning up over here, apparently. From Jennifer Valentine. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, sigh, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis. Visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant, so... TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage, and I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that implies that I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, right. These are the kind of things that I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Fair. Oh. No. Okay. From Mia Garcia. It's the family of the lady whose funeral we just went to. She says, "Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for their wonderful job they did at our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us." It's fine. I'm fine. Oh, okay. This is the guy who delivers the bodies. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff. Messed me and my friends up real good. But, so the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least three different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we were in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out, some asshat driver who doesn't know not to get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed right into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God. But can you imagine getting that call? Anyway, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've just gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and then we all started giggling because, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remembered that story and wanted to tell you, because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody had to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. From Funerals Monthly. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black tire rule. Black tire, huh? Black tire. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black tire rule. And oh my god, I said black tire again. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know that this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could mean an accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important, as it's dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respect. Sorry, I'm a bad reader, apparently. Hi, Charlie. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval, an elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. I'll get right on it. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. I should be reading. I was supposed to shave it. The body. It. They're using it? I wonder if that's normal? Okay. In order to break rigor mortis, you have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each socket to give it shape. Keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue into each eyes to shut it. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread over the jaw to close it. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it into the neck incision. Click on the cannula and drag it into the carotid artery. This is how you'll get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. Now you'll need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Click on the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them through the body. Click and drag the body to massage it. Didn't realize it wasn't timed. Probably wouldn't have read it. Great. Now let's sew up that incision. Click and drag the needle and thread over the incision to close it. Almost done. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar, then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. I'm assuming this is the trocar. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in the casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Humming to himself. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals. So mostly white, but like, definitely not red, no matter what. I just read about that. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next, poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. It's weird to think about for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird how bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. LGBTQ funerals. Respect. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. Of course they are. Shit, I'm gonna need a second. Boy. Ooh. Okay. Okay. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. Fucked up. But it makes sense, only because, of course, that happens. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraud directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different. And because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgendered receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict harm and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Uh-oh. Matthew forward from Amy. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I could cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Matthew, I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna go grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. And swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm gonna go take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15. From Jen. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask you about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy goth aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom ran over. I'm gonna try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Buddies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird out to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. From Lizzie Duval. Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate if you have any questions. Okay, I'm on it. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, We'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as to not damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace and place it on the purple tray. We will place the necklace in the urn with Mrs. Hall's remains later. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Great. Mrs. Hall is all set to be cremated now. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator will break down these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back onto the counter. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn. Click on the necklace and drag it into the urn. Don't forget the tag. Click on the round identification tag and drag it to the urn. Last step, click on the urn's lid and drag it on top of the urn. All done. Emil will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. This is nice in a weird way. She'd like that we were all here, talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. It's not weird. It's not weird at all. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be so sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. I already did this, but I'm gonna do it again. Okay. This is a lot. You know? This is a lot. Okay. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally helping out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking of a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that contaminate the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore/preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we've gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? reply and let us know. A challenger approaches from Jen. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years, but I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High scorer gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. From Ryan Garcia. I don't know what to do. This is a forward from Amy. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out. You would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother has lived a good, full life and was very happy and that she's not in any pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer to me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for any inconvenience. So, from Amy. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and families aren't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self, and it would be good for you to start building these kind of relationships on your own. You are a treasure, Charlie. Thank you so much, from Margarita Hall. Hi, Amy. I am so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been very happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you, again, from the bottom of my heart. News about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. Oh, hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though, honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that is a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do about it at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I admittedly didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Hi, Charlie. Please say the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Hi, Amy. You asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks, Mariana. Sounds good. I'll take care of it. I think that means I have to cut someone open. Not that I haven't already done that, but... I'm gonna say, I didn't know what I was getting into. But this is not at all what I thought it was gonna be. Which maybe that's a little silly since it was called a Mortician's Tale, but okay, it's fine. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Reyes' pacemaker. Click and drag the scalpel over the heart to make an incision. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to click and drag the pacemaker out of the heart. That was incredibly simple. Put the forceps away and then place the round identification tag in the coffin. Mr. Reyes is all set to be cremated now. Using the cremulator will break those bone fragments down into ash-like remnants. Place the urn in the cremulator. I almost forgot that part. Put the bones into the top of the cremulator. Put the urn back into the corner, onto the counter. Place the round identification tag into the urn and the lid onto the top of the... Hold on. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Bummer. Things to avoid saying at a funeral. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice. What not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people. But fortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is. Funeral Monthly's top 5 things to not say at a funeral. Number 1, at least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be a jerk and just don't say it. Have I said that before? Number 2, were they saved? No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting. I don't know what that was. Please don't put that in the video. No, but for real, that one. Don't do that. Number 3, they're with the angels now. See above's note, then rinse and repeat. Number 4, let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. Unless COVID's happening, and then just skip those things. Just take them dinner. Number 5. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied to any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. From Jen. Mushrooms! You hate mushrooms so much I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know. Shocker. Look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing on a phone, so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers caskets lined for use in green caskets. Casket liners for use in green caskets. Sorry. I think that's what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death and innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead. Am I right? Hi, Amy. I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock to me and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Amy passing this along. Okay. Our son. Good day, Miss Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation yet. Anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take over on this one if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later this afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? I did not know that I could look at this. No, I'm not comfortable not cremating him. Can I cremate him even though the family asked for... Why do people think that it's okay to disregard someone's feelings because they weren't in the headspace you think they should be in? Okay, I'm gonna do it, and if the game lets me cremate him, then I'm gonna cremate him. But if not, I won't. Shit. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. I would get fired from this job / have legal things happen to me, because if this kid wanted to be cremated, I would cremate him. Anyway, shave the body. Break rigor mortis by massaging the body. Insert eye caps into each socket. Glue each eye shut. Put cotton balls in the mouth. Sew the jaw closed. Moisturize. Moisturize me. It feels weird to make jokes during this game. Place some tubing into the incision for draining. Attach the cannula to the tubing. Connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Do I never get this right? Turn on the embalming machine. Massage the body. So the incision closed. Use the trocar to drain the organs. All done. Mike will take care of Mr. Scott's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. I feel like the right thing to do would be to not talk to anyone. I'm sorry your face is on display, kid. I heard it wasn't going to be an open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. I wish we were closer. Wow, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, be able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that. I know. It just hurts. Yeah, I know. This is a lot. Okay. Booting. Different funeral traditions. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us have. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media. But, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with a death, but the goal is almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, internment usually begins immediately after someone has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religiously focused. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often. But there are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and the expenses of cremation. And not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of the turning of the bones, or famadihana, a ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Famadihana has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a beauty in the way we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. From Jen. Forward, you're invited to attend a death cafe. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work to do with a hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection. You can even see the bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is the sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. From Death Cafe. Come increase awareness of death with a view of helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. What the hell? From Matthew. Can I just say, first off, this is bullcrap. Ugh. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No. Okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitative. They don't even say how much it is. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. From Chad Grant. Welcome to Rose and Daughters Stop. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. They will be another institution among hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprise, Inc. culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. We're glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Chad Grant. Cremation from Leah Ionesco. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you, Leah. Charlotte, below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Chad seems delightful. I'll get right to it. Okay, prepare Miss Ionesco's body for cremation. Remove Miss Ionesco's watch and place it on the tray. Place the round identification tag in the coffin. Great, Miss Ionesco is all set to be cremated now. Place the urn in the cremulator. Put the bones into the top of the cremulator. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel so uncomfortable just launching stuff around. Place Miss Ionesco's watch in the urn and place the round identification tag in the urn. Flip the lid on top of the urn. All done. Matthew will take Miss Ionesco's urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Good old Chad. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. Totally fair. Me too. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No. Thanks. But no. I don't know. it's so intimate. It feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book. Except to you. Yeah, she was special. Jesus. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leah. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all of this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. You have good friends, Leah. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. This is a lot. March 24th. Home funerals. Why do it? The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive. But isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and see them decay naturally is an important part to the grieving process for some people. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you're able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in cremation or burial itself. However, it is important to understand the different rules applied, given on what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved one, make sure you follow everything by the book. But just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones, so if you so choose. Dr. Zayas? From Jen. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being! We, as a species, have seen the beginning of our end. Oh, from good old Chad. Green burial policy. Hello, Charlotte. I reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green burials as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults. Instead, I trust you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Chad sucks. From Chad, to Rose and daughter staff. Hello. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on, while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure that they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell, i.e. always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased is an experience with no price limit on it. And I like money. This is like a little bit triggering. Okay. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner, Catering Concepts, provides high-quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. Jesus fucking Christ. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effectively immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high-quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprises is known for. Nah, Chad, fuck that. From Matthew. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? Yes. P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry. Ever. Also, same, Matthew. For real. I know you're like just a video game character, but fucking same. I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Why does he do that? Charlotte, you don't have to type out my name again, man. You put it in the beginning of the email. I know you're talking to me. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here, as it is the most cost-efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver, aside from cremation. Chad, you suck. Before we cremate this gentleman, we need to prepare his body. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would be damaged during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tab into the coffin with him. Place the round tag into the coffin. This gentleman is all set to be cremated now. Yeah. I'm, not okay. Why am I not okay? Jesus. So when can I quit? Because my tattoos are out, I'm gonna get fired. Using the cremulator, we'll break those bone fragments down into ashlight remains, place the urn in the cremulator. I always forget that part. Put the bones into the top of the cremulator. It's really a good thing I don't actually do this. I might forget that for real one time. Oh, sorry about flinging your ribs and skull around. I'm not actually super comfortable with that fact. Sorry you're here alone. April 9th. Man. Am I just gonna leave that cleaner over there? Alright. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Water cremation. We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps, more commonly, resomation. Its technical name, though, is actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment, the high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief among them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst us. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkaline water heated up to very high. It basically works like a sped-up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory, and alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation process. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places it became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. From Jen, I kissed her. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scene, but was so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you'd lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like that last dude I saw. Jason? Michael? God, I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento Mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good, fun, and affirming like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of a Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock of your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? You know you have my support, no matter what you decide. I'm done. From Matthew. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, Kay. Matthew J. P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. I just skimmed this email and I want to quit. Okay, from Chad. The dick. Latest contract acquisition. Hospital. Hello all. We are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprise, Inc.'s bright and sustained future. You fucking suck, Chad. Ugh. Home funeral for my wife. From Kofi Dimka to Chad. The dick. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. From Chad. Dear Mr. Dinkra, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. I hate Chad. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was. Beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Chad, you suck. From Kofi. Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Kofi, don't let Chad bully you. You do what's best for you and your family. From Chad. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dinka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. Fuck you, Chad. Fuck you. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. This is part of your job. Oh my god. sure thing. I'll get right on it. I hate Chad. I hate Chad. I hate Chad. He's a fucking Chad and he sucks. The deceased family has asked to have a home funeral, and my stupid boss talked them into having an open casket funeral here. So let's make that happen for them. Let's start by cleaning the body. Clean Mrs. Dimka's body. Break rigor by massaging. Insert eye caps into each eye socket. Glue each eye shut. Put cotton balls in the mouth. Sew the jaw closed. Lotion the body. Yep. Make an incision in the neck. Place the tube. Attach the cannula. Connect. Turn on the embalming machine. I don't need that anymore. You gotta do some massaging. Oh, that's blue. Trocar. All done. Mike will take care of Miss Dimka's makeup as well as dressing and putting her in the casket. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reason. Oh, Oh, hey. What did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh, yeah. I've heard that show is so good. I saw the video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that Chad guy said seemed right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah. I'm gonna miss her. Me too. Fucking Chad. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioner on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. It would be good to stretch my legs. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. I'm sorry you're here and not at home. Oh, fuck Chad. August. Oh, thank God, she's not there anymore. Okay, let's start here. Congratulations. Charlie dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. You'll never believe what new job I'm working at now. Open this email to find out. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You'd never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Yay. From Jen. Congratulations on your new business. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase, but you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for a visit and to check out your new space. P.S. Have you heard about those green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. Honestly, same, Jem. Jesus Christ, that is very relatable. From Eileen Hansen. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. Best. Eileen Hansen. I'll see you soon. Is she doing in-home funerals? I hope that's what she's doing. Oh, she's doing like... Oh, I love it. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. I'm fine. Shut up. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much. But thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. I love this. Yeah. I loved this. Hey. I think that's the lady Mortician on YouTube. I might be wrong. Bastion. That was lovely. You guys, that was lovely. Well, that was a Mortician's tale. And it was beautiful and I loved it. So, yeah. I think that's the end. Alright. I will, see you guys in the next one. Hopefully it won't make me cry. Jeez. Alright. Y'all have a good one. Bye.